Hello guys, welcome back to Electronics. So you guys have already seen what's inside this box in a different video. It's the LED tester. Now as I said in my last video, I'm not the owner of this particular item. I just took it from my friend for making a couple of videos, so I have to return it back to him. So it's now the time that I want to return it to him, but before that, let's do the teardown test. So in the previous video, I have already shown you guys how this thing works, how can you use it for testing the LED lights. So I'm not going to do the whole thing again. Instead, in this particular video, we are purely going to focus on the teardown of this item. And I'm not sure how much can I tear this thing down, because I'm not seeing any screws immediately. And if there is something uh, that has to be done, like destructive has to be done to take it apart, then I'm going to stop at that very moment, because I want to return it as it is. I don't want to destroy someone else item. So right now, let's see, let's just move our hands around to see. I'm not finding any screw holes. There is nothing obvious underneath that resemble a screw hole. So I think this must have been press fit kind of thing, like press lock kind of thing. Conveniently, there are two spots right here. Let's slightly, there you go, that was it. So I don't want to chew up the plastic. Okay, that is interesting. So before tearing this one down, I thought this must be some kind of microcontroller based a boost converter, and I think that is exactly what this thing really is. And unfortunately, I think this is the limit. This is the limit that we can go up to. There are a couple of screws. Oops. I'm not sure whether I was in frame or not, but this is as far as I can go in terms of the tear down, because these things are soldered onto the main board itself. You can see the solder contacts right here. You can see the LCD screen, not the LCD, the sound segment screen. The pins of that are bent underneath like that. You can see right there. It's slightly bent compared to this one. And I think it's a single-sided board, because everything that has to be here is already here. So I don't think there is a whole lot underneath, rather than just most probably some couple of passive components, but I don't think so, because almost everything by the looks of it are on this top plate right here. So underneath probably there could be some wires or some grounding planes, some extra routing of these copper tracks, and pretty much that will be it. So anyway, let's take a look at the chip numbers. It is not visible in here, but I think, can you see that? Can you read that? It's a Neutron. I see. You can read that or not? Not sure. Yeah, there you go. You can read that right now. It's a Neutron. You guys will be able to see that much clearly than I can because of the lighting. Anyway, I'll put on the screen, if a datasheet is available for this particular IC, I shall put that on the screen right now. I think Neutron, that must be the controller. That has to be the controller that uh, gives it the slow start ability, because if you remember, when I turn this thing on, let me just turn it on. I have to be very careful because it is now in this condition. You can see it's a gradual turn on. It's not immediately going up to the full 300 volt mark. It is slightly growing up and until it reaches this 300 volts. So that has to be controlled. It's not, if it is just a buck converter or a boost converter, it will immediately jump up to the full voltage, but it is not happening in here. It's slow, it's gradually creating that. So it has to be this particular microcontroller. Also, there has to be something to display the sound segment, to drive the sound segment display. So it has to be in that particular thing. And almost certainly yes, because you can see the traces from this controller is going from here. Well, those capacitors might be charged, I have to be careful. If you trace those tracks right there, it's going straight like that, and it's going to the pins of that, can you see that, of that 7 segment display. So this must be the microcontroller that detects the voltage and can also drive the display, and also there will be some connection between this thing and this main switching circuit. This has to be the boost converter, and the main switching, I see the number on that is erased. There is no marking on that chip. Can you see that? There are absolutely no markings on that chip. They have completely rubbed it off. And I can see some scratch marks. I'm not sure how visible it is because of the black background, but it looks like some kind of stripes are running across the IC like that. And there's a fuse, there's a 1 amp fuse there, and followed by the typical small bridge rectifier circuit. This has to be the boost converter. You can see the opto isolator, and there could be a connection between this one and this one, and this is the output switching MOSFET. So probably that MOSFET is controlled by this microcontroller right here. This is the Fairchild 1N60C, and there is some small chip right here. It says CA300. It has to be a dedicated IC. Again, I'll put on the screenshot on the screen. There are a couple of opto isolators, one for the main switching and one for the secondary side switching. I wonder why there are a couple of different switching sections right built onto the single board. There is this main switching probably, and almost certainly for the high voltage LED, and there is a secondary switching section that comprises of this inductor and this particular IC, followed by some couple of different passives near to it. So I really wanted to take this board out, like I really wanted to take out these connectors, desolder them, and take the whole board out to make a further full check, but unfortunately I cannot, because I do not own this item, I don't want to damage it, and I'm going to return it tomorrow. So yeah, that's it. This capacitor, it's a 15 microfarad 400 volt rated capacitor on the output side. So that clearly indicates, because this can go up to 300 volts, this is a section that does that job. This will be for the input smoothing purpose. Again, another Chang X. This is Chang X. This one again same 15 microfarad 400 volts 15 microfarad, branded Chang X again. This one here is Sanyo. This one is branded Sanyo. Not sure how well you guys are seeing it. It's a Sanyo 470 microfarad 25 volt capacitor right there. So overall, I think it's a very neat little power supply for the price of 500 rupees. And just recently, while making this video, I searched for buying one for myself, and the price has gone over the roof. Right now this thing is selling for around 1000 to 1500 rupees, but my friend actually bought it just a couple of months ago, and he bought it for just 500 rupees. Now it's selling for almost double and triple the price of it, depending on where you are getting it from. And it's a switch. This is a switch, on off switch. It's rated for 10 amps at 125 volts, 8 amps, 12 amps at 250 volts AC. This is the mains code. So that is it. That is what is inside the CA300V Super LED tester. I'm so sorry that I cannot show you what's underneath the board, but just it is what it is. I had to return it. Alright, so that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you with another video.